Don't forget to check out the Emerald Gore Society's Gorecast for your weekly fill of horror movies, news, game reviews, and short films.
There we go. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another AniNightmares here on the Emerald Gore Society's Facebook channel, where myself and Carter down here, over there should I say, are talking about all things anime. So for the last couple of weeks we've been doing some kind of old school stuff. Well, I suppose Ghost in the Shell wasn't really old. The movie made it current being out, but we've been predominantly doing some of the older school stuff. So we were having a look through Netflix and found a very cool series that we want to cover called Cyborg 009.
Yep.
But while homaging around on Netflix, we also noticed that there was a 3-part OVA series crossover between Cyborg 009 and Devilman, who we were covering last week. So we thought we might do the 3-part OVA as a nice transition between Devilman and Cyborg 009, because Cyborg 009 is going to be possibly a 2-part episode, because there's like 26 episodes in it. I think there's 2 seasons as well. Or is it only the one? No, there's only 1 season because it came out in 2017. But they're a little more current because basically Cyborg 009 versus Devilman is a 3-part anime OVA that is a crossover between the 2 series, as I said, that I think it was October 2015. It got aired first, and Netflix bought up the international streaming rights and all that stuff for the series then. So, pretty cool. I really enjoyed it off the bat.
Oh, dude, it was awesome.
Yeah, really good. Like, stuck really true to the Devilman kind of thing. And it actually, now that I've seen that Netflix have had Devilman up in one of their newer series, I'm a little less, because if you were watching last week's episode where we were talking about Devilman, we were a little bit on what we could assess from the trailer for the new Devilman movie, I think it was, coming out 2018.
Yeah, the 4th one.
So yeah, it looked like it was going a bit Samurai Jack-ish, but as I was saying near the end of the episode, he's all silhouetted out, so you can't make out any detail on him, so you can't see how cartoony or not cartoony they've gone with it.
No, after this one, I definitely feel a lot more relaxed, or a little bit more calm about it, or not as nervous about them screwing it up.
Yeah, they handled it really well. I like it's a bit of a weird. It's obviously like a standalone, because Ryo's in it, and they're still buddies. Which at the end of the Devilman 3rd movie, the Amon Apocalypse, they weren't on the best of terms, shall we say? Just in case there's anyone who was not watching last week has not seen Devilman.
I liked it though, because it kind of fit in with the movies that we watched. I mean, as far as timeline goes.
But but Ryo,
at the end before everything like broke loose.
Yeah, but at the end of the 3rd movie, Ryo had turned into a demon.
Yeah, that's why I think it would have gone in between 2 and 3. They still had that friendship. All hell hadn't broken loose.
Yeah,
he was still looking out for him.
Because I suppose I was watching a little bit of the new series of Cyborg 009, and they, because they're cyborgs, they're around since the 60s in timeline speak. So I suppose they could fall in anywhere.
Yeah.
It's awesome fight seeing Devilman, and it's called Cyborg 009 versus Devilman, but predominantly it's Cyborg 009 with Devilman.
But, I mean, there was still that nice little...
There was a cool fight between them at the start where... So, for anyone who basically, from what I can gather of Cyborg 009, because all of our knowledge on this topic is based off of the OVA pretty much and the 2 episodes of the new season that I watched, but I spelled Cyborg for some reason everywhere Cyborb. That's very annoying. I just noticed that Cyborb 009. For anyone who there's an evil syndicate that makes cyborgs, basically. And then there's a lower level number of cyborgs that branch off because they realise that the guys are evil. Black Mask, I think is the name of them, or something like that. So the lower numbers are... It's kind of like the Canon EOS series, for anyone who owns cameras, where they appear to be... the lower the number, the better the camera. So, in the cyborg level, because in this, there's higher level numbers above 9 and 10. There's like 10 to 18. And they're there to prove that the higher level numbers are better than the lower level numbers.
And there was also a break because they did those, like when the movie opened, the Mythos.
Yeah.
So they fall in somewhere in there.
I have to say, the opening of that, I actually would have loved to have seen Tony Macca loving the shit out of the episode. Thanks, Tony. What was I going to say? The fight at the start of this whole series between Cyborg 009 and these kind of godlike... They seem to be cyborgs.
Yeah.
But... They, like real Zeus-like kind of characters, like he's firing laser beams that are like 800 million degrees Celsius. Fucking hot for anyone who doesn't understand how high Celsius and degrees go. Bloody hot is what it was. Cyborg 009 beats... Actually, you don't even see does he beat him. He just kind of turfs himself into a volcano. I'm not really ruining anything for anybody. That's just the opening scene. But it starts off with...
2 seconds.
Starts off with a lot of action.
No, I did want to see, like you, I wanted to see more of them get into it, because it was just 009. The other team didn't really even get a chance to get into it with them.
Well, even in the OVA, they really they just handled the straggler guys, and then they let 009 handle everything.
Right.
Which is madness, because out of all the superpowers, I would have thought, like, he's just able to go really, 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 really fast. He's like the speed racer of cyborgs. I've seen him hitting like Mach 2 and things like that. We're both doing social media at the same time here, people. Sorry, 2 secs.
Same here.
Yeah. Just trying to respond to people. Get a page open, see what's going on. There we go. Make sure we're obviously
the whole group had a lot of cool abilities, but like you said, they always let 009 take the lead.
Yeah.
And, I mean, granted, he had a little bit of strength on him. He was fast, but there were a couple that I thought could have jumped in to help out a little bit more.
He just had like normal cyborg strength, though. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really underplaying what cyborg strength can actually translate to. But
let's see. Super strong, resistant to damage, can breathe underwater, and has like a super leap.
Yeah. They can all breathe underwater, though, can't they?
They specified that him and
007.
8.
008. Sorry, yeah. 008's kind of like the Aquaman of the group.
Yeah. They specified that those two could really handle the water. 8 has like mechanical lungs, so apparently he can hang out as long as he wants to.
The whole series basically starts off, or the whole OVA, should I say. One moment now. Here we go. Facebook, if you're wondering why I'm on my phone while also doing a podcast, it's because it seems to stream live on my phone better than it does on the computer that we're casting off of. Just the message feed, it gets all over the place when we're doing it. But anyway, opens up with the really cool fight between these kind of godlike cyborgs and 009. Then there's also a flashback to Devilman 3 where it kind of replays the fight between Jinman and Devilman, but done nearly
Which
better.
I thought was cool because they did it differently.
Yeah, it's as if Jinman came back, but with the same storyline, because it's Miku. Or sorry, not Miku. Mickey. It's not his mother's face that's in there that time. It seems to be Mickey's.
Right.
If you haven't seen Devilman, Mickey's, he's kind of you're not sure is it sister or love interest for the first 2 movies, and then it turns out it's love interest. But he lives in their parents' house. Who'd have thunk it? I don't know. Very strange living, very strange living situation. But that seems to be kind of something that runs through the anime things. Like if you look at Bleach, the main chick from Bleach fancies the stuffing out of your man, and she lives in his wardrobe. Do you know? So, well, she's kind of from another dimension. Do you know what I mean? So she pretends to go to school and everything with them, but she basically hides out in his wardrobe.
I gotta start watching that.
Yeah, it's very good. The fights, if you like your super cool anime fights, Bleach, as anyone who watches this will probably realise, because I think I've brought Bleach up in literally every episode. It's just beautiful. It's just it's very good. It's got the right amount of cheesy humour. There's a horny possessed teddy bear. Epic fights, all good. But anyway, as I was saying, there's a very cool fight with Jinman and Devilman, and it pretty much the same as what happens in the movie, but as you said, kind of like retold differently, but the same story. Then cuts to Devilman and the guys. Oh no, cuts back to the guys then, all chilling out in their HQ for where the 00s are, which is what the group is called, because they're all 001 to 9. Because evidently, once you get to 0 numbers, you're shite. Yeah, 1 to 9 is where we got it right, and then strangely enough, where you would have thought as we progress further they got better, but no, they actually didn't. They got worse. They're all just chilling out. They realise that Black Mask are deploying agents and some unknown entity in a city.
Everyone, welcome back to another AniNightmares here on the Armed Core Society's Facebook channel, where myself and Carl are all just chilling out.
Sorry, we got my I don't know what happened there. I had everything. The computer's done this to me a couple of episodes now, where it says I have things on mute and I actually don't.
Well, and you remember that Cyborg 5 and what was that, the baby 0?
Yeah.
Both said that they felt like the whole disturbance in that something was up, like they could feel something big was coming.
They were a hair's breadth away from saying they felt a disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
To be blatantly honest.
Because like it freaked everybody else out, because I guess the baby was supposed to be asleep for however much longer, and it woke dead up to call out the warning.
Yeah.
The other cat's out communing with nature. And
yeah, for anybody who hasn't seen 009 yet, that baby has got some mad skills, by the way. Just serious skills. Reminiscent of, do you remember the 3 friends that Akira has in, oh god, why am I blanking on this? On Akira. Sorry, there you go. Have you seen Akira?
No.
You haven't seen Akira?
No.
Oh, dude.
Dude, I have a list like a mile long to catch up on, but I never get around to it.
Yeah. That's one you had, man. That's like a literal manga classic. That has to be. You have to watch that. You have to. You're kind of more into the new anime stuff than the older stuff, isn't it?
It's a mix in between, but there was like when I started watching it back in the day, I didn't know a lot of people that knew it, so it was just whatever I tripped over. I never had anybody like suggesting, "Hey, you need to catch this or this." Right. It was if I was in the store tripped over it, I'd grab it, take it home, and
yeah.
so
No,
kind of
Akira is a
cleaning up.
magical movie. Hey Mickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You stole my spine. Hey Mickey, thanks, Giz. Giz's contribution to the show this week. The 009s, anyway, as we were saying, there's demons coming in. Then it cuts back to Mickey and a new friend at school that she's made, who's got crazy blue eyes. That even in anime terms, you'd be kind of like, I'd say she's got a demon in her. They're super blue, and they're that kind of glossed over thing where you're kind of like, yeah, there's a bit of mojo going on there. Then they go looking for Akira, not Akira from the movie I was just giving out to Carter about, Akira from this, because Akira seems to be a very popular superhero name, or main protagonist name in animes, who, lo and behold, is not in school. Oh, yet again, because he tends to just go off up to the water tower. Doss about up there for a while, presumably fighting demons and things like that. There's something not right about her new friend.
Eva.
Yeah, that's her. Mickey likes her and gets on with her. Akira doesn't warm up to her straight away. He kind of picks up on a weird vibe off her. Then he starts feeling a presence somewhere, so he flies off to do what Akira does, and he meets up with Royo. Oh no, Royo just actually... Royo shows up and just takes him away, really, doesn't he? Not unlike the movie where he'll be talking away to Mickey.
Like all it.
Yeah, that's Royo's thing. Royo is kind of like a cock block, basically.
I'll say he always comes in at the wrong time and never stays long, dude.
We never get to hang out anymore. I was going to cook dinner tonight. I'd love some dinner tonight, actually. That'd be really cool. Akira, can I talk to you over here for a minute? Sorry, Mickey. You know, actually, I'm going to say it right now. Akira's a bit of an asshole, actually, towards his girlfriend. I'm just going to put that out there.
Oh, yeah.
He's a bit... Like, I know he saves the world, and I know he's, on countless occasions, saved her life, but through 3 movies that we watched last week, and through 1 OVA, he just stands her up a lot, to be blatantly honest. There's a lot of cold dinners that Mickey has to eat on her own, and I think I'm actually going to put it forward to Netflix now that in the new series that maybe Akira should treat his girlfriend a little bit better.
Didn't he? It was even worse in this one.
Yeah, he just doesn't give a shit. Not at all. I cooked dinner for us. Well, my friend that's more important than you. Yeah, he wants to go hang out and drive around in his car. It's like he always comes up with the worst excuses. He doesn't even come up with excuses. He's just like, oh, Rio wants me to go hang out. Talk to you later, baby. Bah. He doesn't actually say baby.
And she's just waiting for him to come back, dude.
She's a good little waif.
No, I thought it was kind of weird how quick she picked up on Eva, though.
But she, like... I haven't seen her hang out with anyone through 3 films. That's 3.5 hours of Devilman straight over the course of 3 decades. I haven't seen her hang out with anyone bar Akira and her little brother.
She was so quickly attached to this chick.
Maybe that's why. Maybe people are just like, oh, there's something about her. We're going a lot more into the backstory of Akira's girlfriend here than I was anticipating. If there's anybody watching who has any, hey there, Blue Eyes, got any demon in you, would you like some? Giz, creeping me out in text, opposed to creeping me out in the studio. Yeah, that's pretty good shadow playing, Giz, to be honest. I don't know how, it wouldn't work for me. I have no demon in me. Unfortunately, but Giz has got a bit of demon in him. Yeah, she does pick up with Eva very, very, very quickly, as in best buds. Like to the same level of, I can't remember the girl's name now, but remember when we were reviewing Gantz? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, it was like the girl that your man Ryu fell in love with in Ganso. It was literally like, oh, you saved my life. Now I'm going to marry you and have your babies. Absolutely crazy. But they spring off a friendship anyway, because as I mentioned, Akira is emotionally abusive to his girlfriends, not in a full-blown way, but he's relatively, if her girlfriends were around, if she had any, I'm sure they'd be like, oh, girl, you gotta fucking get yourself a new man, because he's terrible. But anyway, he's flying off to fight another demon who's actually there's several demons that go to fight, and then there's one that looks like Griffin. He's got the lion's head and the eagle wings and the whole caboodle. Also actually very similar of the first demon from Ganso, come to think of it.
Yeah.
The one thing that did bug me, not in a bad way, but just in an observation kind of way, was, if you remember correctly, we were saying one of the reasons that we liked Devilman so much was they didn't do the stereotypical looking demons. There were these mad, snarly, evil looking things where they're very paint the demon by numbers.
Okay, see, that was one of the things that bothered me.
Yeah, not in a bad way now, because painting by numbers, they were absolutely epic.
But after watching like the last three and getting such a huge variety of just like extreme, this one didn't have that as much.
Literally the only really humanoid-y looking demons in the three movies were, four humanoid-y ones. You had Devilman. There was the demon bird. She was, she wasn't. She was a good 50-50 bird woman.
Right.
There was Amon, who was real painted by numbers demon, and then there was the guy that Ryo was possessed by. They were all pretty humany. You which?
Sid Giz is killing me.
Mickey and Eva sitting in a tree. Whereas Akira apparently off fighting demons and shit with his satanic homie Ryo, while Mickey waits for her demon senpai to notice her. That's pretty much a very, very good 3-sentence synopsis of their entire relationship. To be honest, Giz. Absolutely brilliant. We keep getting distracted by this relationship, but we might have to cover this entire series again, and this is just going to be us trying to sort out the relationship of Mickey and Akira, because the 009s, they're nice and greased. They know what's going on.
Oh yeah. But no, so like I said, this was probably like the demon still looked cool, but it was just less imaginative.
Yeah, they were very, like, the harpy looked like
the generic horde during the big fight scenes, and they all looked the same.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. That was a little bit annoying. Jinmin was the only one that was really innovatively crazy looking.
Yep. Lilith was cool.
Yeah, but she was supposed to be kind of a harpy, and she looked like a harpy. She had the kind of the. I liked the way her eyes were changing between levels.
Yeah,
which I thought was epic.
Almost like they couldn't figure out what they wanted to do with her, because she looked different from like the initial change, and then like she kind of kept going through changes as they kept going.
Yeah, well, she was supposed to be a very powerful demon, so that might be like their what's a good description that everybody might know. It'd be like their equivalent of going Super Saiyan. Do you know what I mean? So there's like demon level 1, level 2. Overall, the storyline, it actually tied both series together very, 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 very well. So basically, as I was saying, you have the Black Mask guys that they're making these kind of evil cyborgs, which myself and Carter aren't super up on the whole thing, because we just did the OVA in between as a nice kind of little crossover. But they seem to be making evil cyborgs. Then there's this eviler doctor within Black Mask, yet again, who's gone rogue.
Adams.
Sorry?
Dr. Adams.
Yeah, and his son, who's also Dr. Adams and a little asshole. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cocky with no reason, to be blatantly honest. But he's found a way of getting the demon souls, which possess people, and merging them into the cyborgs, thus making them a demon cyborg.
Which the idea was kind of cool, because, I mean, it was that next step up from...
It was the evolutionary ladder, yeah. Because they were relatively level. There's, as we said, we'll skip on a bit. There's the cool Griffin, and there's... just to let you know, keep mentally logged what we were talking about there 2 seconds ago. This next rant is going to bring us back into that. So there's the Griffin that we were talking about. Very cool fight between Devilman and him. Then there is 009 is fighting another cyborg. And then the rest of the 00s are off fighting some cyborgs in town that they're picking up sensory readings for. Right, which is where you get introduced first to...
Demon or Cyborg?
The Cyborg Adams. What's the son's name?
Edward.
Edward, that's it, yeah.
Because he's got big hair, big red hair and stuff.
Yeah. They... where was it? Oh, yeah, so anyway, he's having a nice discussion and a little bit of flash of who's got the better powers in town with the rest of the... Well, 3 or 4 of the 00s, one of whom has a ridiculously big nose.
Dude, it kind of reminded me bird, eagle, between the hair and the nose.
Which he doesn't have in the 2017 series we're going to be covering next week.
Yeah, they said that they revamped everybody for the new series.
Yeah, it actually, as I said, it looks exactly like the Borderlands animations from the video game. More so Borderlands 2. Your cat is going to make my dog go mental now. He just went. But yeah, it's very similar to the Borderlands 2 animation, or if you play any of those, the Telltale Games series, that like of The Walking Dead and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very similar to that kind of animation. Looks very cool. But yeah, the schnoz and the hair are gone. But in this, he has a super schnoz and no superpowers surrounding it. It just happens to be that he shoots bullets out of his fingertips and has a massive nose.
No, that dude's the one that could fly. He's got boosters in his feet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, actually. But still no powers surrounding his nose, because the nose is so big that you would have thought there was some nasal-related power.
Aerodynamic?
Yeah, or like he transformed into some sort of like Falcon robot or something like that. Do you know? Something. But no, he just happened to be a guy that shoots bullets out of his hands and flies with a big nose. That's basically it. So they're having a chat and a bit bop with Edward, and who's 0015 or something, and 011 and 012. Then it cuts back to 009, who's polishing off his half demon, half cyborg, and Devilman, who's fighting the kind of Griffin style demon. And then both of their fights are happening in the same woods. For both of them, their fights cross over into each other just as they both kick the fuck out of each other. Then Cyborg 009 is like, he's a demon. And then he's like, I don't have a clue what this dude is. They start fighting. Epic fight. Predominantly...
I can't play Devilman, though, dude. Everything's going down in the woods. He's just like, screw it, cannon fodder, and just start leveling anything in front of him.
Yeah, well, that's the Devilman method of battle. Kill it, drill it, fill it, eat it. That's it. So they start beating the shit out of each other. Absolutely epic fight. He's 009, unfortunately, out of all the powers he has, flying isn't one of them. So Devilman takes him up to the skies a little bit and drops him down to the ground. It takes him up to the skies, drops him down to the ground. 009's super fast super speed is absolutely rendered relatively useless against Devilman, because he's as fast and he sees everything at one stage, she's like, "Are you running in slow motion or something?" It's very funny. Yeah,
when he caught 009's hand, that really just kind of
he runs off, very Flash-like actually. Runs off, like hits Mach 2, runs back at him, goes to throw his super punch, and Devilman's just like clunk, and then he just picks him up and very reminiscent of the Hulk versus Loki. In he was just puny god. Then they both fire a punch at each other. They both hit each other's punches and basically explode each of their arms. Fight over.
And at least that one was pretty good because the fight that they were having in town, kind of felt bad for them, dude. They were getting walked dry, like they were just playing with them.
Yeah, the guys were just testing them, and they were literally letting them know that we're the supreme, we're the higher functioning cyborgs, and we're here to prove it.
Because I mean, they weren't even moving; they were going to take a hit. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Reminded me, it was like just the fight dynamic between the rest of the 00s and the higher level, the multiple numbers were. Reminded me of. Did you watch Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah.
Do you remember the androids?
Oh yeah.
It was very similar to that. Like it was, the lads were just firing stuff at them, and they're just like, "Oh, this is." They just stand there and take it for a while, and then zap them with something and blow them up, and then they just buggered off. They just kind of basically flew in, showed off for 5 minutes, and then fecked off. This is when it cuts back to Eva and Mickey at the school. Oh yeah, should I say? Yeah, Devilman and 009, bang, arms explode. Ryu comes and picks up Akira's arm because Akira's the explosion knocked him straight out of demon mode back into human mode, and 009 had to disconnect his entire arm, or the explosions were gonna go into his central processing unit and blow up the entire. They basically fucked each other up pretty efficiently.
Well, like how Ryu was always there for the aftermath. You don't really see him too much during the fight.
No, he was off fighting something else in the woods because remember he was going shotgun crazy for a while.
Yeah, and then like when the fight broke out between them and 9, their speed took them off. So I mean, he was playing up.
Giz is what? Giz is oh my god, he's been drinking the ale of the fairies tonight or something. I think. Grease me up, woman. Indeed, fighting off demons and shit with the satanic. Yeah, okay, that's good. Giz, you might be the only one commenting. But, by God, they're priceless.
Now, I will say, though, out of the 3 OVAs, everything's really got a solid pace to it. I mean, everything just keeps moving, like, non-stop.
Yeah,
and that scared me by the time we started getting to the 3rd one, because there was so much going on. I wasn't sure if we were going to be wrapping this up or just leaving it for a cliffhanger for kicks and giggles.
I literally only watched the 3 of them. If anyone's even somehow stumbled upon this podcast and they don't like anime, but you can get over the fact that something's animated if the story is good, this is a really good way of killing an hour.
Oh yeah, and a good introduction to 2 different things, the whole Cyborg and Devilman. Because you get enough of both to
wet your whistle.
Looking into it.
Yeah, you definitely go researching both of them up more afterwards. 100%. I suppose, let's see, how long are we going? We should probably throw on an old Devilman trailer, let people, or sorry, not Devilman, we did Devilman. We'll throw on the trailer for
Cyborg?
For the 2 of them. the name of which has just eluded me for some reason. I don't know why. Cyborg 009 versus Devilman. We'll throw on the trailer for that. 2 seconds now, guys. We'll just locate it here. The pacing through it, as you said, was very, very good. They really took. I know anyone that watches this or the Gorecast or anything hear me going on the whole time about how a fucking story is supposed to have a start, middle, and an end, and they really took the overall story and broke it down into start, middle, and end through the 3 episodes. So first episode is very introductory to your characters. You kind of get to see a little bit of Cyborg 009 and the 00s doing their thing separate. You get to see Devilman doing his thing separate. Then you get to see them not in battle, kind of having a bit of downtime separate. Then there's 2 separate incidents that just happen to land in the same woods that merge the 2 stories together. And then you get to see a bit of the fight sequence, as we said, which gives you an indication of where 009 is at, where the 00s are at, where the other Cyborg bunch of guys are at, and where Devilman and the demons are at. And then it cuts into the middle, which is where there's not a lot of fights in the middle. It's a little more storyline driven in the middle section. A bit of an epic fight.
That's the thing, but that's when it really got interesting for me, though.
Oh, yeah, that's when the story really kicks off.
Shoving even more stuff in there.
Yeah, it was Cyborg 009 versus Devilman. We'll do the trailer. I might actually put that opening on as well in a minute, because they have the opening there separate. Or we could just put on an episode, because it all seems to be on YouTube for some reason.
And the fact that each episode's almost 30 minutes?
It says 30 minutes, but it's
intros and
it's give me a minute.
So you're hour and
say
20
you're looking at about 26 minutes from what I'm seeing here. Episode 1 is 26 minutes, and then the other ones are they're all about 26, 27 minutes. You could easily cut out 5 minutes each episode for trailers. Or sorry, not trailers, but for kind of intros and outros. So
right.
Realistically, you're talking about you're looking at about an hour in total. Let's say if you cut out the intros and outros, about an hour in total.
And totally worth it.
Totally worth it. As I said, it's totally enjoyable. Really good introduction. Actually, if you aren't into anime as well, I think this is a really good. It's not super heavy on some of the nuances of anime that only really kind of anime heads like the humor and stuff like that. There isn't that cheesy, the kind of the pervy humor, for lack of a technical term. It's just real straightforward, good crack, basically. Right.
Good clean artwork too.
Oh, it's silky smooth. It's kind of true to the old school anime of Devilman, but also with a bit of a new school flavour to it.
Yeah. Everything was cleaner, brighter.
Yeah. It was, it's an impeccable production, in my opinion. I think it's done very well. Even the music's very, very good. What am I looking to? Oh, yeah. Devilman trailer, which will load up here now.
And apparently this hit, though, because they even put a manga out for it.
The comic?
Yeah.
Yeah, the manga actually works out as a prequel, if I remember correctly.
Novel prequel and then a running manga.
Oh, okay.
All written by the person that wrote the OVA.
All written by the person who wrote the OVA.
Yeah, the story for it.
Oh, okay. I like when they have the actual original person in there. It's always good.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Oops, something came on there that wasn't supposed to. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Carter, sorry, 2 seconds. Life is going crazy on me here. Yeah. Sorry. Too many things going on. I don't know how that happened. It's madness. There we go. We're back. There we go. Right. That was a bit strange. Sorry about that. I was not expecting that to happen. Keep talking there for a second, because this just doesn't appear to be loading up for me at the moment.
Gotcha. All right, like I said, though, I really dug the storyline. I was almost afraid it was going to be left as a cliffhanger, or that they were going to like try to do it like a quick wrap-up at the end and just kind of be a letdown.
Yeah.
But dude, everybody still, like, the fight scenes were still just as good at the end, and everything got wrapped up without being rushed. Like, everything just kind of fell into place.
That's good. Okay, we have that ready there, so we'll play that and then we'll come back and we'll chat a little bit more. We only got a minute 17.
世界中で起こる凶悪な事件。
警告。悪魔が来る。
悪魔？事件の裏に隠された陰謀。
あの森を隠れ蓑にして勢力を広げようとしてるようだ。見つけたぜ。
警察のデータベースにアクセス。
悪魔のお出ました。日が沈む狩りの始まりだ。
人知れず戦い続けた孤高の戦士が今激突する。
何を企んでいる？
As per usual, I feel I should. As per usual, I feel I should add that available in English on Netflix.
この戦いは地獄へと加速する。サイボーグ009 vs デビルマン。
There you go. Back from that. Yeah, so that a little taster. I don't know why I can never seem to find the bloody English trailer.
That's right. I forgot he had the little pop-out wing things this time.
Devilman. Oh yeah, he's nearly Batman-esque.
No, I'd completely forgotten about that. That is one thing. This one wasn't as gory as the other films.
I
Kind of, but not as gory.
The 009 series, because I'm a couple of episodes in now, doesn't appear to be very blood orientated anyway. So I would imagine they kind of just found a middle ground between Devilman content and 009 content.
Okay.
That'd be the way I'd run it anyway, I would assume. Because, I mean, it's not like Netflix have plenty of seriously gory stuff on there. And there's been a good few, like, they have all of, they have pretty much all of Death Note on there, like the original anime series.
Yeah.
So that's pretty gory in places.
No, like you said, though, that would make sense. That'd be a nice little middle ground between the two.
Yeah. Second movie is where Mickey and Ava are off having a girly date. What is it? They're going for like a picnic or some shit.
Picnic or a walk? They really didn't get.
Yeah.
Didn't really to wherever they were going when they got interrupted.
Yeah.
So.
A bunch of demons show up. Knock Mickey out. Then Ava gives out to them and tells the demons, "I told you I'd bring her in." At which point you're like, "Dirty bitch! I knew she had something to do with it. You and your big glowing blue eyes. I knew there was something to do with it." Giz. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you are right, Giz. You did say. I did say that 009 was fairly well greased. You are correct. That's good. It's like having one of our Gorecast arguments, except he's able. Yeah, I know. Good lord. Yeah. They knock her out. Then. Yeah, as I said, Ava gives out to the demons. The demons are like, "Okay, your call." They bugger off. At this stage, Akira hasn't come to school today because he was lying in bed letting his arm reattach. 009 wasn't in school today. He doesn't go to school. But he wasn't in school today either because he was getting his arm reattached.
This is the thing kind of slowed down a little bit, but introduced a lot more character and backstory.
Yeah, it filled in the character and backstory. Like, for instance, during whatever was obviously only like a 12-hour period because it was relatively early in the morning from what I could tell that Akira was walking around with his arm reattached.
Yeah.
But Ryo had been up all night researching Black Mask and all of this. And through some amazing amount of researching. And imagine hacking as well, because he seems to be able to just get into any computer software.
Right.
Or system. So he's figured out loads of stuff about Black Mask. Then how did they find out about what's her face comes into suspicion? Ava comes into suspicion around that stage. I can't remember what it is that sets them off.
Oh crap! What was that?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Neither.
Oh, did he pull up some picture or something that? Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh my god.
Neither.
I think it was. Sorry, that was the audio turned on again. I think it was during the research he pulled up some picture of Ava and her brother. The brother is integral to the story once episode 3 end of this episode 3 then predominantly.
I know they were able to pull up a picture of the original 9 cyborgs, because that's when they started looking into the whole scientists and stuff like that. I can't remember how they got to Ava.
Yeah, I think... No, I can't remember. Ava comes into question anyway, but you've already had it. It's already been established that Ava is deservingly in question because she pretty much admitted on camera. I'll get Mickey off. So there's a bit of investigating and stuff like that goes on. It's mostly most of the second episode, as we said, is more storyline based. So there's a lot of background info about the 00s getting revealed, but through Ryo and Akira's investigations. And then there's a lot of background story about the demons and stuff like that. Because actually the 00s are relatively in the dark about the demons or something. Like they're completely unaware that...
They almost acted like they'd never heard of the whole aspect before. Like they all kind of seemed thrown off by the whole demon thing.
Yeah, the only mention they seem to the only knowledge mention that ever came up of what they kind of seemed to know was all through Dr. Adams' research, because he used to work for the same company as their doctor. They all used to work together. That's it. That was the only time I actually saw them with any form of knowledge of it, but it was a whole idea that got diffused, and how Dr. Adams ended up with the Black Mask in the first place. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
no, they were already there because the Zero Programs guy, Isaiah, worked with them. They all laughed Adams out the door because he was like, hey, if we could find the one missing piece to make our super cyborgs. And they were all like, dude, it's kind of crazy. And so they kind of kicked him out of the organization because he was going extreme.
Yeah. He went crazy. Then the end of the second episode brings you into the fight for the third episode. So all of the players are pretty much lined up, ready to go at the end of the episode. You get introduced to...
The brother?
The brother. What's the brother's name?
Seth.
Huh?
Seth.
Yeah. That's Ava's brother, who was a cyborg as well, but he got irreparably damaged.
No, he wasn't yet.
Oh, they were trying to cyborg him up.
Yeah. He was in an accident, left us in a coma.
Yes, that's it.
Talked her into saying, hey, if you let us have your brother, we can do to him what we did to you, and you can have your brother back.
We'll basically, they said we'll do the same thing we did to you, but they're not going to do the same thing they did to her. They're going to shove a supersonic demon in there as well.
Right. And so he was going to become Cyborg 0018.
Yeah. Who's a badass. He's a total badass.
What I didn't understand was they kept saying how they had to wait for Devilman to show up. He had to unlock the whole thing.
It wasn't that he had to unlock the whole thing. Devilman was their proof that their experiment was the most awesome and deadly fighter.
I just couldn't understand because we kept waiting for like the right moment because what was that dude's name? The demon Atun? Atun?
Yeah.
They had him, they had the kid's body, and like we just kept waiting for Devilman to find our hideout so we could throw everything together real quick and then shoot it out the door to go fight Devilman.
Yeah, well, as I said, the reason they were talking about doing that was that they had 009 there and they had Devilman there. So 009 is supposed to be the best cyborg out there. And Devilman is supposed to be this unstoppable demon. So if he was able to take out the top demon and the top... If he was able to take out the top demon and the top cyborg, it meant that their experiment was the greatest. This is from, like, Dr. Adams' perspective. Because it was Dr. Adams that set the whole thing up.
Which was weird because the big red-haired kid, 14, he was kicking everybody's ass on his own. I mean, like, he really didn't need was that like 2 or 3 guys behind him? He was tearing them up on their own.
And
the
little kid that was able to do all the ice. The little kid that was able to do all the ice was pretty darn good as well.
Yeah, Cain and Abel. Cain was the one that was the metal walking arsenal, and Abel was the ice shooter.
Yeah.
But no, sucks that I just didn't understand. That kind of seemed weird, but once everybody was in the same spot, that was a badass fight scene.
Oh, it was absolutely epic.
Because you had 009, Devilman, and Seth, and then you still had the whole group of cyborgs off to the side. And it was kind of a cool flashing back and forth between the two.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if there was any... No, that's just the background music from it. I was just seeing was there a little clip of it that I could show.
We definitely got a thing for bird people, though.
Yeah.
Because the main bad guy had the claws on his head. And
I have a little... You'll get to see all... Okay, so in this little scene, you'll get to see all Blue Eyes here, and all Blue Eyes and the brother / new demon Atung having a bit of a kerfuffle. This is where she realizes her brother's pretty much gone and dusted, because like the thing with the demon is that the thing with the demon, when you have a demon merge with you, is it's if you're true of heart and if your will is strong enough to be able to battle the demon, you're able to take over the demon and keep the demon locked away, and you keep his powers. Whereas if you aren't strong-willed enough, the demon will clean take you over, which is basically what happened to Seth. He wasn't strong-willed enough, so the demon basically left Seth floating in hell, basically. Terrible subtitles there. It just said Set instead of Seth. But yeah, give you.
It was cool that they gave him that face marking though to let us know that it wasn't the brother.
Yeah, because you don't really. The brother plays no part in any of it. The brother doesn't play any part in any of it at all, basically, bar being a dead corpse just sitting there. Until he gets demonized. I'm trying to see. I just want to see, is there any of that final battle? Cyborg versus Devilman, Lilith possession transformation. Okay, that'll give you an indication of the demons we're dealing with on this thing. Nearly there now. Very reminiscent of the disco scene from the original Devilman. It could just be that strange animated dancing as well. So they kept the demon titties. That's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eyeballs are kind of creepy though.
Yeah. But you see what I mean? They're not as kind of like slobbery demon kind of monsters. They're more humanoided. Do you know what I mean?
Like I said, she definitely mixed it up, but for a lot of times I just noticed that she looked more plant than anything.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. She was definitely more plant.
And then she just spawned all the generic monsters.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find some of this epic tongue battle. Although I'm pretty sure everybody has Netflix by now. So just go watch it on Netflix. To be honest, there you go. That'd be much better. You got a little taste. So you can see there in the little taste we threw up there from YouTube that there's some seriously tasty animation in it. I won't get into the ins and outs of the final fight too much. I think you got enough of a snippet there. Yeah, you didn't even get a snippet because that's only him before he goes completely demon crazy. Because there's a much larger demon version of Seth.
And I did like that it wasn't just a one and done. Like he went through his...
He had these little transformations as well. And I liked the way that there's a cool change where he's in pure demon mode and then even though the demon is still in control, Seth's body comes back.
Yeah.
But in a half demon form, kind of like Devilman.
Well,
or as they described it in there, he's changing between demon man and man demon.
Because that was the merge that like nobody had ever seen before.
Yeah, because it was human cyborg, human demon, all in the one mix, and he was super strong, and he was able to regenerate like Wolverine style for a while.
Dude, no, once he hit that level, he really didn't seem like he was putting effort into anything.
No, he was just beating the shit out of people.
Right. And of course, the rest of the team is just kind of off to the side staring at it.
Well, they're kind of half staring at it, and they're also, they're half staring at it, and they're also still fighting the others, the high numbers bunch.
True.
As well.
The zero teams.
Yeah. I suppose that pretty much covers it all. Definitely go check it out, guys. We're going to be covering, as I said, we were kind of hitting the old school stuff recently a little bit more, just because I'm an old school kind of guy. And
Same.
I like to cover a bit of old school. And we were covering some real like classics, but we're back on track now, hitting the new circuits and tracking down all the latest new out anime. So, as we said earlier at the show, this was a little crossover from old school into new school because we will be covering Devilman, or sorry, Jesus, I have Devilman on the head. Cyborg 0009. What's the name of it?
Something Justice?
What is it?
I thought it was something Justice.
Cyborg, I'll just double check it there now. It's like Dawn of Justice? No, sorry, that's a DC movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Call of Justice.
There we go.
Not Dawn of Justice, Call of Justice. So we'll be covering that next week. Possibly a two-parter, depending on how well we think we can cover this bitch won't shut up. Depending on how well we think we'll be able to cover 20. I think it's 26 episodes or something like that, if memory serves me correctly.
I'll have to look.
So I'd say, are you happy with that? I'd say we covered it up.
I'd say it's good.
That's good.
If we
Okay.
haven't won somebody over by now, they're not going to watch it.
Yeah, true. We're going to throw on. Yeah, I think we'll throw on the little prologue fight between Cyborg 009 and those kind of Greek
The generic demons.
god. No. Between them and the kind of the Greek gods, cyborgs at the start. It's a very, very cool fight. Great dialogue. I hope that the dialogue that I put in, I hope it's in English. Fingers crossed.
まさか加速装置だけじゃないだろう。あとはどんな力を持っているんだい？あとは勇気だけだ。さっちゃん、生きているのか？さっちゃん。
死んだの。私死んだの。
人間を超える力を持ってしまったら神か悪魔になるしかない。僕は神になる。この姿にふさわしい神にね。そんなのは間違ってる。ほらね、君は歯向かうだ。だから僕たちは戦うしかないのさ。
アポロ、私死んだの。もうパパやママと一緒に暮らすこともできないの。
さっちゃん。恨みのこもった死者の声、地獄の声だ。人面か。お気に召したか。さあ、よーく見るがいい。俺に食われた悲しみが、俺に食われた怨念が甲羅に浮かび上がるのよ。お前たちデーモンが憎いと思ったことはないぞ。許さん、人命。この戦い、いつまで続ければいいんだ。終わりはある。戦い続けて勝ち残った者が神になればいい。人は神を必要としてきたんだ。世界は戦いの歴史からは抜け出せない。ブラックゴーストがそれを証明している。人間でもなく神にもなろうとしないのなら、君はただのガラクタさ。遅い。肉の焼ける匂いは素晴らしい。貴様の顔も俺の甲羅に加えてやる。何一つ 抵抗もできんとはな。
抵抗できないんじゃねえ。しねえんだよ。その子の受けた苦しみの1000分の1でも味わわなけりゃ、俺は自分が許せなかった。
こいつらは生きているのと同じなんだぞ。まだ自分の意識を持っているからな。貴様どうした？かかってこないのか？戦うしかないなら、僕は戦いを終わらせるために戦いの鬼になる。ならば地獄へ送ってやろう。ヘラ！姉さん、離して姉さん！姉さんの体が。
アポロ、私たちが生き残っても戦いの歴史は終わらない。でも009ならいつの日か。
ヘラ、そんな、僕たちが神となってこの世を。
アポロ、あなたにももう分かってるはず。
姉さん、私の全員知るぞ。いいのか？貴様も死ぬんだろう。
There you go. So that's pretty much the end of us covering Cyborg 009 versus Devilman. As you can tell there by the epic fight at the beginning there, and then of course the video with the English dub pops up straight away afterwards. Fantastic. As I was saying, if you must go check that out. The fights are absolutely amazing in it. Storyline's fantastic. Soundtrack's awesome. Animation, as you saw there, is absolutely beautiful. It's available on Netflix, so it's out everywhere. Make sure, if you want to check this out and you missed it or anything like that, to pop over to the EmeraldGoreSociety.com, where you can check out this little animated beauty that we do. We have the Gorecast, where we cover all things horror. It's a horror website, so keep up to date on your horror news and your reviews, written by Carter and Willie and all the guys over at EGS. I think we're back with the Gorecast on Saturday, because we were talking about, in our last episode, you might like to tune in for this actually, Carter. We were talking about a film called Beyond the Gates in our live episode from Monday, and it's basically like a horror movie all centered around, do you remember that board game from the 90s, Atmosphere?
Yeah.
I think it was called Nightmare in the States.
Vaguely.
Yeah, there was like a video cassette you used to put in, and you played along with his face on the video screen.
Right.
But we have acquired one of them, and we're going to live stream playing it. I'm going to have this crazy guy on the screen and everything. We'll light it all
that's
cool.
Awesome.
So check on in. If you, it'll be nice, a little bit of a throwback to the 90s from anyone from the 90s or the early 80s, like myself and Giz and Carter. Or for any of you youngins out there, you'll get to see what we used to have to do to entertain ourselves before the magical world of VR and AR was invented.
Yeah.
So other than that, make sure to check myself and Carter out next week, where we're going to be doing Cyborg 009 Call of Justice, which is the new series that came out on Netflix this year. I think it's only last month is when it launched in Europe anyway. I'm not sure when it came out on the American servers. And check the Gorecast out for our stream Saturday. And then on Sunday, we have Samantha Stewart from Voodoo and also from the TV show Days of Our Lives on, talking about her role in Voodoo. So other than that, from me, Johnny Dedly, and from Carter down here, catch you later on, and we'll see you next week on AniNightmares. Outro.